Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Thursday, the 30th of May. Can't believe how quickly May has passed by. Yesterday at the Cathedral of St. Matthew's in Brandon, we gathered in the side of the church. There's a transept, a church that looks like a cross that has the front, the altar, and then the back, and then has two side parts. They're called transepts, and in the transept on the sort of, if you're facing the front on the right side of the church in St. Matthew's, there is a columbarium where we have niches for those people who have died for their cremated remains. And we have an altar there that we use from time to time. And so we gathered yesterday for the clergy and lay readers of the south of the diocese who were able to come to have a celebration, a Eucharistic celebration, in which we renewed our vows. The lay readers renewed the promises that they made as they would be leaders in the church, the deacons and priests, and I as the bishop, and renewed my vows, and we all renewed our ordination vows together. And then we had a Eucharist, but also the blessing of oil, where as the bishop, I bless the oil that is olive oil and is scented and is then prepared for people to take into their parishes or to their homes to go out for anointing, for healing, for those who are dying, for those who are having ordinations or baptisms. When we baptize someone, we anoint them with chrism, holy oil. We seal them with the mark of the cross, the sign of the cross, to mark them as Christ's own. For ordinations, we seal the hands. We mark the hands of those who are being ordained priests, that they might be servants of God out in the world. We did that yesterday. We did a thing. And I think it's really important that we go back once in a while and do that. A very, very good friend of mine, her name is Alice, she and her husband went out to a beautiful place in Nova Scotia that is like a second home for them on the weekend. And they renewed their vows on their 25th anniversary. Again, similar to what we did in church yesterday, they renewed the promises they made to one another and to God 25 years ago, to remind them of the commitment they have to one another and to strengthen that commitment as they move forward into the next 25 or 30 or 40 years. And I think that's absolutely an important part of our lives. We make commitments in our lives. Some of us make formal ones. We make vows to get married or ordained or something like that. Other times we commit ourselves to a job or to different kinds of relationships. We become parts of clubs or communities. People, men may become Masons, members of the Masonic Lodge, or women might become members of Eastern Star. People belong to the Rotary Club or the Kinsmen or Cadets. All of these things that we commit ourselves to. And generally speaking, when we commit ourselves to something, it isn't really about us. It's about the communion you're going to have with other people, about the relationships we're going to build, about the way we're going to help the world. Even in wedding vows, we are committing ourselves to each other with God's help, that not only will we have a great relationship, but we'll raise our children, we'll be a good example of what a couple will do together and look like for other people in the world. So anytime we commit ourselves to something, generally speaking, we are indeed committing ourselves to other people as well. We're committing ourselves into relationships. And it's really important that we take time to sit back once in a while and think about those relationships and to recommit ourselves to that. I mean, sometimes it seems so romantic, like renewing your wedding vows. That can be beautiful. I want to do that someday with Rob, maybe on our 25th. We had some hiccups in our wedding and a few things that didn't quite go the way we wanted. That's what happens when you have a lot of people come together. And I think I'd love to go away with him somewhere quiet and renew our vows, and just be reminded of what it was we meant all those years ago, and pray that God will bless us as we move forward into the many years ahead. The same thing when we renew our vows as ministers, as priests or deacons or lay people or bishops in the church. When we do that, it's not really about just marking an anniversary or something. This is not an anniversary. It's more about reconfirming to ourselves and to God what it is we have committed to. Really taking a step back and saying, yeah, this is important. We need to do this. Yeah, we need to do this. We need to remember what it is we said we were going to do in the first place. Maybe have a couple chuckles when we look back and think how naive we were when we took our vows originally, and think ahead to what we're called to do now. But then allowing ourselves that moment and those witnesses who will then say, I uphold you, I will encourage you. Because never when we say vows do we do it without witnesses. There are people, well, God is witness, obviously, but there are also people around us who are the people who are saying, I will uphold these people in prayer. And sometimes we'll even say things like, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. You're going to commit to that. You're going to do it. That's important. That's reminding us that this isn't just about us. This isn't just about this moment in time when we feel good about what we're doing in our lives. It's about those moments in time when we can look back and think, oh, I did not want to do this. I don't want to get up today. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to have this conversation with my spouse. I just want to, I just want to whatever. When we look back and say it's not about this moment, it's about all the moments. It's about the commitment I have to God, to my spouse, to my work, to my volunteering, to my children, to my neighbors, whatever it might be. Those vows that we make are not simply about picture opportunities or a big party afterward. They are very much about the very fabric of our lives and the way that we live. And so yesterday, the clergy and the lay people got together to renew our vows, to remember that we are God's and it is God's work that we do. Last Saturday, my friends, Alice and Richie, got together with their family and friends to celebrate in a special place 25 years of living together, of being married and raising children together, and recognizing the ups and downs of all of the things of life, and committing themselves to continuing to do just that. So whatever it is you have committed yourself to, whether you've had formal vows or not, take some time today to rethink about what you're doing and why you signed up in the first place, and allow yourself the gift of knowing that you did a good thing. And then allow yourself the gift of recommitting yourself to that good thing. It doesn't have to be formal, it doesn't have to be an anniversary. It could simply be sitting down with a cup of coffee and saying to yourself, where have I come from? And where am I going? And do I recommit myself to those very things I committed myself to so long ago? And at times you might find that no, that things have changed. I think with every renewal of vows I will ever do as a priest, as a bishop, there will be a recognition that none of those couples will ever go back and say, oh yeah, we got it perfect the first time. The renewal of vows isn't about saying we're going to repeat everything we've done. It's much more, I think, about saying we've learned from what we've done and we're stronger together and we will make better decisions together as we go on. The same thing with the clergy. There's not a one of us who was perfect when we were ordained or when we first said those words that say, I will do this work. We grow every day. And that's the commitment we make when we renew our vows, is not that we will be perfect, but that we will strive to be the best we can be and serve the people we are called to serve in the best ways possible. Not about being perfect. It's about being committed. How are you committed? How can you become more committed? Have a great day, everybody. God bless. I will see you again tomorrow for Feel Good Friday.